Book of Proverbs, King James Bible, beginning of knowledge. The Proverbs of Solomon, the son of David, king of Israel. To know wisdom and instruction, to perceive the words of understanding, perceive the instructions of wisdom, justice, judgment, equity, to give subtlety to the simple, and to the young man knowledge and discretion. Wise men will hear and will increase learning, and a man of understanding will attain unto wise counsels. To understand a proverb, the interpretation, the words of wise, and their dark sayings. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. The enticement of sin. My son, hear the instruction of thy father, forsake not the law of thy mother. For there will be an ornament of grace upon thine head, and chains about thy neck. My son, if sinners entice thee, consent thou not. If they say, come with us, let us lay wait for blood. Let us look privily for the innocent without cause. Let us swallow them up alive as the grave, and whole, and those that go down into the pit. We shall find all precious substance, and we shall fill our houses with spoil. Casting thy lot among us, let us all have one purse. My son, walk not in the way of them, refrain from thy foot from their path, for the feet run to evil, and make haste to shed blood. Surely in vain that I did spread in the sight of any bird. They lay wait for their own blood. They look privily for their own lives. So are the ways of everyone that's greedy of gain, who taketh away the life of the owners thereof. Wisdom calls aloud. Wisdom crieth without, she uttereth her voice in the streets. She crieth in the chief place of concourse, in the opening of the gates in the city. She uttereth her words, saying, how long, ye simple ones, will ye love simplicity? And the scorners delight in their scorning. Fools hate knowledge. Turn you at my reproof, behold, I will pour out my spirit unto you, and make known my words unto you. Because I have called and ye refused, I have stretched out my hand and no man regardeth. But ye have set at naught at my counsels, and would none of my reproofs. I will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear cometh. When your fear cometh as desolation, and destruction cometh as a whirlwind, when distress and anguish come upon you, then shall they call upon me, and not answer. I shall seek merrily, and shall not find me. But for they that hated knowledge, and did not choose the fear of the Lord, they would none of my counsel, they despised all my reproofs. Therefore they shall eat the fruit of their own way, be filled with their own devices. For the turning away of the simple shall slay them, the prosperity of fools shall destroy them. But whoso hearkeneth unto me shall dwell safely, and shall be quiet for fear of evil. Chapter 2. The benefits of wisdom. My son, if thou wilt receive my words, and hide my commandments with thee, so that thou incline thine ear unto wisdom, and apply thine heart to understanding. Yeah, if thou criest after knowledge, and liftest up thy voice for understanding, thou seekest her as silver, and searchest her as a hid treasure. And thou understand the fear of the Lord, and find the knowledge of God. For the Lord giveth wisdom, out of his mouth cometh knowledge and understanding. He layeth up sound wisdom for the righteous. He is a buckler to them that walk uprightly. He keepeth the paths of judgment, and preserveth the way of the saints. then thou shalt understand righteousness and judgment, equity, yea, in every good path. So when wisdom entereth into thine heart, and knowledge is pleasant unto thy soul, discretion shall preserve thee, understanding shall keep thee, to deliver thee from the way of the evil man, from the man that speaketh forward things, who leaves the path of uprightness to walk in the ways of darkness, who rejoice to do evil and delight in the frowardness of the wicked. And 16. To deliver thee from the strange woman, even from the stranger flattereth with her words. 17. Which forsaketh the guide of her youth, or forgetteth the covenant of her God. For her house inclineth unto death, her paths unto the dead. None that go unto her shall return again, neither they take hold of the paths of life. If thou mayest walk in the ways of good men, and keep the paths of the righteous, the upright man, the upright shall dwell in the land, and the perfect shall remain in it. But the wicked shall be cut off from the earth, and transgressors shall be rooted out of it. 3. Trust in the Lord. My son, forget not my law, but let thine heart keep my commandments. A length of days and long life and peace shall they add to thee. Let not mercy and truth forsake thee. Bind them around thy neck. Write them upon the table of thine heart. So thou shalt find favor and good understanding in the sight of God and man. Trust in the Lord all thine heart, and lean not unto thine understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths. Be not wise in thine eyes. Fear the Lord, and depart from evil. It shall be health to thy navel, and marrow to thy bones. Honor the Lord with thy substance, and with the first fruits of thy increase. So shall thy barns be full of plenty, and thy precious shall burst out with new wine. So despise not the chastening of the Lord, and be wary of his correction. Whom the Lord loveth, he correcteth, even as a father the son, in whom he delighteth. Blessed is he who finds wisdom. Happy is the man that findeth wisdom, and the man that getteth understanding. For the merchandise of it is better than the merchandise of silver, and the gain thereof than fine gold. She is more precious than rubies, and all the things that thou canst desire are not to be compared unto her. Length of days is in her right hand, and her left hand riches and honor. Length of days, her ways are as a pleasantness. And all their paths are peace. She is as a tree of life to them that lay hold upon her, and happy as everyone that retaineth her. For the Lord by wisdom hath founded the earth, but by understanding he hath established the heavens. But by his knowledge the depths are broken up, and the clouds drop down in the dew. My son, let not them depart from thine eyes. Keep sound wisdom and discretion. So shall there be life unto thy soul, and grace to thy neck. Then shalt thou walk in thy way safely, and thy foot shall not stumble. When thou liest down, thou shalt not be afraid. Yea, thou shalt lie down, and thy sleep shall be sweet. Be not afraid of sudden fear, neither of the desolation of the wicked when it cometh. For the Lord shall be thy confidence, and shall keep thy foot from being taken. Hold not good from them to whom is due, when it is in the power of thine hand to do it. Say not unto thy neighbor, Go, come again, tomorrow I will give when thou hast it by thee. And voice not evil against thy neighbor, seeing he dwells securely by thee. Strive not with the man without cause, and done thee no harm. Envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways. For the froward is abomination to the Lord, but his secret is with the righteous. The curse of the Lord is in the house of the wicked, and blessed the habitation of the just. Surely he scorneth the scorner, when he giveth grace unto the lowly. The wise inherit glory, the shame shall be the promotion of fools. Couple. Listen to a father's instruction. Dear children, the instruction of a father, attend to no understanding. For I give you good doctrine. Seek ye not my law. For I was my father's son, tender and only. Beloved in the sight of my mother. He told me also, and said unto me, let thine heart retain my words, keep my commandments, and live. Get wisdom and understanding, forget it not. And decline from the words of my mouth. Forsake her not. He shall preserve thee, love her, and shall keep thee. Wisdom is a principal thing, therefore get wisdom. With all thy gettings get understanding. Exalt her, and shall promote thee, shall bring thee to honor, and thus remember her. He shall give to that head an ornament of grace, and a crown of glory shall she deliver to thee. Hear, my son, I see my sayings, and the years of thy life shall be many. I have taught thee in the way of wisdom, and I have led thee in the right paths. And thou goest, thy steps shall not be straitened, and thou runnest, shall not stumble. Take fast thy instruction, let her not go, keep her, for she is thy life. Enter not into the paths of the wicked, go not into the way of evil men, avoid it, pass by it, turn from it and pass away. They sleep not, except they have done mischief. Their sleep is taken away unless they cause them to fall. For they eat the bread of wickedness and drink the wine of violence. But the path of the just is the shining light, shining more and more unto the perfect day. The way of the wicked is his darkness. They know not what they stumble. My son, attend to my words. Incline thine ear unto my sayings. Let them not depart from thine eyes. Keep them in the midst of thine heart. They are life unto those that find them, and health to all their flesh. They are life unto those that find them, and health to all their flesh. Keep thy heart with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life. Put away from thee a forward mouth, perverse lips, put far from thee. Let thine eyes look right on, and eyelids look straight before thee. Ponder the paths of thy feet, and all thy ways be established. Turn not to the right hand, lest thou remove thy foot from evil. Chapter 5. Avoid immorality. And son, attend unto my wisdom, while thine ear to my understanding, that thou mayest regard discretion, and that thy lips may keep knowledge. The lips of a strange woman drop as a honeycomb, and her mouth is smoother than oil. Her end is bitter as a wormwood, sharp as a two-edged sword. Her feet go down to death. and her steps take hold on hell. Thou shouldst ponder the paths of life, her ways are movable, and thou canst not know them. Let me now, therefore, ye children, depart not from the words of my mouth. I move thy way far from her, and come not nigh the door of her house. Let thou give honor to others, and thy years unto the cruel. Let strangers be filled with thy wealth, and laborers be in the house of a stranger. Thou mourn at the last, and thy flesh and thy body. Proverb 7, King James Bible. Warning about the adulteress. My son, keep my words, lay up my commandments with thee. Keep my commandments and live. My law shall be as the apple of thine eye. Bind them upon thy fingers. Write them upon the table of thy heart. Say to wisdom, thou art my sister, my understanding and kinswoman, and that they may keep thee from a strange woman, from the stranger with flatter with her eyes. For at the window of mine house I looked through my casement, and beheld among the simple ones, I saw among the youth, a man void of understanding, passing through the streets near the corner. He went the way to a house in the twilight, in the evening, and the black and dark night. Behold, the man of a woman in the Tyler, the harlot subtle apart, which is loud stubborn, her feet abide not in the house. Now she is without, now in the street, and lieth in wait every corner. So she called him, kissed him, and with impudent face she said unto him, I have peace offerings with me. Say I paid my vows. Therefore came I forth to meet thee, diligently to seek thy face. And I found thee. And I decked my bed with coverings of tapestry, carved works, fine linen of Egypt, and I perfumed my bed with myrrh and aloes and cinnamon. Come, let us take our fill of love until the morning. Let us solace ourselves with loves. The good man is at home. He's going a long journey. Taking a bag of money with him. Will come home at the day appointed. With a much fair speech she caused him to yield. With the flattering of her lips she forced him. He going after her straightway as an ox, or to the slaughter, or as a fool to the correction of the stocks. Till the dart striketh through his liver, as a bird hastens to the snare, knoweth not of his life. Hearken unto me now, therefore, ye children, attend to the words of my mouth. Let not thine heart decline to her ways. Go not astray in her paths. For she hath cast down many wounded, and many strong men have been slain by her. Her house is with hell, going down to the chambers of death. Chapter 8. The excellency of wisdom. Doth not wisdom cry? Understanding put forth her voice. She standeth in the top of the palace places, by the way, and places on the path. She crieth at the gates, at the entry of the city, the coming in at the doors. Unto you, O men, I call, and my voice is to the sons of men. O ye simple, understand wisdom. Ye fools, be ye of an understanding heart. Here, for I will speak of excellent things, and the opening of my lips shall be right things. My mouth shall speak truth, and wickedness is an abomination of my lips. All the words of my mouth are in righteousness. There is nothing froward or perverse in them. They are all plain to him that understandeth, and right to them that find knowledge. I see my instruction, and not silver, and knowledge rather than choice gold. For wisdom is better than rubies, and all the things may be desired are not to be compared to it. Wisdom dwelt with prudence, and find out knowledge with witty inventions. The fear of the Lord is to hate evil, pride, arrogancy, evil way, and a forward mouth I hate. Counsel is mine, sound wisdom, and understanding I have strength. By me kings reign, and princes decree justice. By me princes rule, nobles, even all the judges of the earth. I love them that love me. Those that seek me early shall find me. Riches and honor are with me, yea, terrible riches and righteousness. My fruit is better than gold. Yes, and fine gold, my revenue than choice silver. I lead in the way of righteousness in the midst of the path of judgment, that I may cause those that love me to inherit substance, and I will fill their treasures. The Lord possessed me in the beginning of his way, for his works of old are set up from everlasting, and from the beginning, wherever the earth was. When there was no depths, was brought forth, and there were no fountains abounding with water. Before the mountains were settled, before the hills was that brought forth. Whereas that he had not made the earth, nor the fields on the highest part of the dust of the world. When he prepared the heavens, I was there. When he had a compass upon the face of the depth. When he established the clouds above. When he strengthened the fountains of the deep. When he gave to the sea his decree, that the waters should not pass his commandment. When he appointed the foundations of the earth. And I was by him, as one brought up with him. I was daily his delight, rejoicing always before him. Rejoicing in the habitable part of the earth. And my delights were with the sons of men. Now, therefore, hearken unto me, O children. Blessed are they that keep my ways. I have instruction, be wise and fuse it not. Blessed is the man that heareth me, watching daily at my gates, waiting at the post of my door. Whoso findeth me findeth life, and shall obtain favor of the Lord. But he that sinneth against me wrongfully, wrongeth his own soul. All that hate me love death. Chapter 9, the way of wisdom. Wisdom hath builded her house. She hath hewn 7 pillars. She hath killed her beast. She hath mingled their wine. She shall furnish her table. She hath sent forth her maidens. She crieth upon the highest places of the city. So is simple. Let him turn hither. As for him that wanted understanding, she said to him, Come, eat of my bread, drink of the wine which I have mingled, forsake the foolish, and live. Go in the way of understanding. And that reproveth the scorner, getteth to himself shame. He that rebuketh a wicked man, getteth himself a blot. Reprove not a scorner, as he hate thee. Like a wise man, he will love thee. Give instruction to a wise man, and be yet wiser. Teach a just man, and increase in learning. For the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and knowledge of the holy is understanding. From me thy days shall be multiplied, and the years of thy life shall be increased. If thou be wise, thou shalt not be wise for thyself. But if thou scornest, thou shalt bear it, the way of folly. For a foolish woman is clamorous, she is simple, she knoweth nothing. She sitteth at the door of her house, on the seat in the high place of the city, to call passengers who go right on their ways. So is simple, let him turn in hither. As for him that watcheth understanding, she saith to him, stolen waters are sweet, bread eaten in secret is pleasant. But he knoweth not that the dead are there, that are guests on depths of hell. Solomon's Proverbs, the wise son. The Proverbs of Solomon, the wise son, make the glad father. The foolish son is the heaviness of his mother. The treasures of wickedness profit nothing, but the righteous deliver from death. God will not suffer the soul of a righteous man to famish, but he casteth away the substance of the wicked. He becometh poor that dealeth with a slack hand. The hand of a diligent maketh rich. He that gathereth in summer is a wise son. They that sleep in harvest is a son that causes shame. Blessings are upon the head of the just, but violence covereth the mouth of the wicked. The memory of the just is blessed. The name of the wicked shall rot. The wise in heart will receive commandments. The departing fool shall fall. He that walketh uprightly walketh surely. He that perverteth his ways shall be known. He that winketh with his eyes causes sorrow, but a prating fool shall fall. The mouth of a righteous man is a well of life, but violence covereth the mouth of the wicked. Hatred stirreth up strife, but love covers all sins. In the lips of him that hath understanding wisdom is found, but a rod is for the back of him that is void of understanding. A wise man have knowledge, but the mouth of the foolish is near destruction. Rich man's wealth is a strong city. Destruction of the poor is a poverty. The labor of the righteous tendeth to life, and the fruit of the wicked to sin. He is in the way of life that keepeth instruction, that refuses to prove earth. He that hideth hatred, lying lips, and he that uttereth slander is a fool. In a multitude of words there wanteth not sin, but he that refraineth his lips is wise. The tongue of the just is choice silver, now the wicked is little worth. The lips of the righteous feed many, but fools die for want of wisdom. The blessing of the Lord maketh rich, and he addeth no sorrow with it. It is as sport to a fool to do mischief, but a man of understanding hath wisdom. The fear of the wicked it shall come upon him, but the desire of the righteous shall be granted. As the whirlwind passeth, so is the wicked no more. But the righteous is an everlasting foundation. One is vinegar to the teeth and smoke to the eyes, so is the sluggard to them that send him. The fear of the Lord prolongeth days, but the years of the wicked shall be shortened. The hope of the righteous shall be glad with expectation, the wicked shall perish. The way of the Lord is strength to the upright, but destruction shall be to the workers of iniquity. The righteous shall never be moved, but the wicked shall not inhabit the earth. The mouth of the just bringeth forth wisdom, but the froward tongue shall be cut out. The lips of the righteous know what is acceptable, but the mouth of the wicked speaketh frowardness. False balance is abomination. False balance is abomination to the Lord, but a just weight is his delight. When pride cometh, then cometh shame. But with the lowly is wisdom. The integrity of the upright shall guide them. The perverseness of transgressors shall destroy them. which riches profit not in the day of wrath, for righteousness deliver them from death. The righteousness of the perfect shall direct his ways, but the wicked shall fall by his own wickedness. The righteousness of the right shall deliver him, the transgressor shall be taken in their own naughtiness. When a wicked man dieth, his expectation shall perish. The hope of the unjust and perisheth. The righteous is delivered out of trouble, and the wicked cometh in his stead. As an hypocrite with his mouth destroyeth his neighbor, but through knowledge shall the just be delivered, and it shall go well with the righteous. The city rejoiceth when the wicked perisheth, their shouting. The blessing of the upright, the city is exalted, but is overthrown by the mouth of the wicked. He that is void of wisdom despiseth his neighbor, but a man of understanding holdeth his peace. A talebearer reveals secrets, the haze of a faithful spirit concealeth the matter. When no counsel is, people fall, but in the multitude of counsels there is safety. He that is surety for a stranger shall smart for it, but he that hateth suretyship is sure. A gracious woman retaineth honor. A strong man retain riches, but the merciful man doeth good to his own soul. He that is cruel troubleth his own flesh, but wicked worketh to destroy to his deceitful work. To him that soweth righteousness shall be a sure reward. As righteousness tendeth to life, he that preserveth evil pursueth it to his own death. That are of a froward heart are abomination to the Lord, but such as are upright in their way are his delight. Though hand join in hand, the wicked shall not be unpunished. The seed of the righteous shall be delivered. As a jewel of gold in a swine's snout, so is a fair woman without discretion. The desire of the righteous is only good. The expectation of the wicked is wrath. There is that scattereth and yet increaseth, and there is that withholdeth more than is meet, but attendeth to poverty. The liberal soul shall be made fat, and he that watereth shall be watered also himself. He that withholdeth corn, people shall curse him. Blessing upon the head of him that selleth it. He that diligently seeketh good procureth favor, but he that seeketh mischief shall come unto him. He that trusteth in his riches shall fall, but the righteous shall flourish as a branch. He that troubleth his own house shall have the wind, and the fool shall be a servant to the wise in heart. The fruit of the righteous is a tree of life, he that winneth souls is wise. Behold, the righteous shall be recompensed in the earth, much more than the wicked and the sinner. Chapter 12. Loving discipline and knowledge. Whoso loveth instruction loveth knowledge, but he that hateth reproof is brutish. A good man obtaineth favor of the Lord, but a man of wicked devices will he condemn. A man shall not be established by wickedness, but the roots of the righteous shall not be moved. And a virtuous woman is a crown to her husband. She that maketh ashamed is his rottenness in his bones. Though the righteous are right, but the counsel of the wicked are deceit. The words of the wicked are a lie, in wait for blood. The mouth of the upright shall deliver them. The wicked are overthrown, and are not. The last of the righteous shall stand. Man shall be condemned according to his wisdom, but he that is of a perverse heart shall be despised. He that is despised and hath a servant is better than he that honoureth himself and lacketh bread. A righteous man regardeth the life of his beast, but the tender mercies of the wicked are cruel. He that tilleth his land shall be satisfied with bread, but he that followeth vain persons is void of understanding. The wicked desireth the net of the evil man, but the root of the righteous yieldeth fruit. The wicked is snared by the transgression of his lips, but the just shall come out of trouble. A man shall be satisfied with the goods by the fruit of his mouth, and the recompense of a man's hands shall be rendered unto him. The way of a fool's right in his own eyes, he that hearketh unto the counsel is wise. A fool's way hath his presently known, but a prudent man covereth shame. He that speaketh truth falleth righteousness, but a false witness deceit. Where is he that speaketh like the piercings of a sword? The tongue of the wise is health. The lips of truth shall be established forever, but a lying tongue is but for a moment. Deceit is in the heart of them that imagine evil, but to the counselors of peace is joy. There shall no evil happen to the just, but the wicked shall be filled with mischief. Lying lips are abomination to the Lord, but they that deal truly are his delight. A prudent man concealeth knowledge, the heart of fools proclaimeth foolishness. The hand of a diligent shall bear rule, but the slothful shall be under tribute. Heaviness is in the heart of man, making it stoop, but a good word maketh it glad. The righteous is more excellent than his neighbor. The way of the wicked seduceth them. The slothful man roasteth not that which he took in hunting, but the substance of a diligent man is precious. In the way of righteousness is life, and in the pathway thereof there is no death. Chapter 13. A wise son heeds his father's instruction. A wise son heareth his father's instruction, but a scorner heareth not rebuke. A man shall eat good by the fruit of his mouth, but the soul of the transgressor shall eat violence. He that keepeth his mouth keepeth his life. He that openeth wide his lips shall have destruction. The soul of a sluggard desireth at nothing. The soul of the diligent shall be made fat. A righteous man hateth lying, but a wicked man is loathsome and cometh to shame. Righteousness keepeth him that is upright in the way, but wickedness overthroweth the sinner. There is that maketh himself rich, yet hath nothing. There is that maketh himself poor, yet has great riches. For the ransom of a man's life are his riches, but the poor heareth not rebuke. The light of the righteous rejoiceth, but the lamp of the wicked shall not be put out. Only by pride cometh contention, or the well advised is wisdom. Wealth gotten by vanity shall be diminished. He that gathereth by labor shall increase. Hope deferred maketh the heart sick, but when the desirous cometh, is the tree of life. Whoso despiseth the word shall be destroyed, but he that feareth the commandment shall be rewarded. Love the wise is a fountain of life, to depart from the snares of death. Good understanding giveth favor, but the way of transgressors is hard. Every prudent man dealeth with knowledge, but a fool layeth open his folly. A wicked messenger falleth into mischief, but a faithful ambassador is health. Poverty and shame shall be to him that refuseth instruction. He that regardeth reproof shall be honored. The desire accomplishes sweet to the soul, but it is abomination to fools to depart from evil. He that walketh with a wise man shall be wise, but a companion of fools shall be destroyed. Evil pursueth sinners, but to the righteous good shall be repaid. A good man leaveth an inheritance to his children's children, and the wealth of the sinner is laid up for the just. Much food is in the tillage of the poor, but there is that destroyed for want of judgment. He that spareth the rod hateth his son, he that loveth him chasteneth him betimes. The righteous eateth to the satisfying of the soul, but the belly of the wicked shall want. Chapter 14. Every wise woman builds her house. Every wise woman buildeth her house, but the foolish plucketh it down with her hands. He that walketh in his uprightness feareth the Lord, but he that is perverse in his ways despiseth him. In the mouth of the foolish is a rod of pride, but the lips of the wise shall perverse them. Where no oxen are, the crib is clean. Much increases by the strength of the ox. A faithful witness will not lie, but a false witness will utter lies. A scorner seeketh wisdom, and findeth it not, and knowledge is easy unto him that understandeth. The wisdom of the prudent is to understand his way, but the folly of fools is deceit. Fools make a mock at sin, but among the righteous is favor. The heart knoweth his own bitterness, and a stranger doth not intermeddle with his joy. The house of the wicked shall be overthrown, the tabernacle of the upright shall flourish. There is a way which seemeth right unto a man, but the end thereof always a death. While even in laughter the heart is sorrowful, and the end of that mirth is heaviness. For the backslider in heart shall be filled with his own ways, and a good man shall be satisfied from himself. The simple believeth every word, but the prudent man looketh well to his goings. A wise man feareth, departeth from evil, but the fool rageth and is confident. He that is soon angry dealeth foolishly, and a man of wicked devices is hated. Simple inherit folly, the prudent are crowned with knowledge. The evil bow before the good, and the wicked at the gates of the righteous. The poor is hated even of his own neighbor, but the rich have many friends. He that despises his neighbor sinneth, but he that hath mercy on the poor, happy is he. Do they not err that devise evil? Mercy and truth shall be to them that devise good. In all labor there's profit, but the talketh of the lips tendeth only to penury. The crown of the wise is the riches, but the foolishness of fools is folly. A true witness delivereth souls, and a deceitful witness speaketh lies. And the fear of the Lord is strong confidence, and his children shall have a place of refuge. The fear of the Lord is a fountain of life, to depart from the snares of death. And in the multitude of people is the king's honor, but in the want of people is the destruction of the prince. He that is slow to wrath is of great understanding. He that is hasty of spirit exalts folly. A sound heart is the life of the flesh, but the envy the rottenness in the bones. Yet the oppressed of the poor approaches his maker. He that honoureth him hath mercy on the poor. The wicked is driven away in his wickedness, but the righteous hath hope in his death. Wisdom resteth in the heart of him that hath understanding, but that which is in the midst of fools is made known. Righteousness exalteth the nation, but sin a reproach to any people. The king's favour is toward a wise servant, but his wrath is against him that causes shame. 15. A gentle answer turns away wrath. Well, a soft answer turneth away wrath, but grieveth words stir up anger. The tongue of the wise useth knowledge aright, but the mouth of fools poureth out foolishness. The eyes of the Lord are in every place, beholding the evil and the good. A wholesome tongue is a tree of life, but perverseness therein is a breach in spirit. A fool despises his father's instruction, but yet regard the proof as prudent. The house of the righteous is much treasure, but in the revenues of the wicked is trouble. The lips of the wise disperse knowledge, the heart the foolish do it not so. The sacrifice of wicked is abomination to the Lord, but the prayer of the upright is his delight. The way of wicked is abomination to the Lord, but he that loveth him that followeth after righteousness. Correction is grievous unto him that forsaketh the way. He that hateth the proof shall die. How and destruction are before the Lord, how much more than the hearts of the children of men? For a scorner loveth not that reproveth him, neither will he go unto the wise. For a merry heart maketh a cheerful countenance, but by sorrow of the heart the spirit is broken. The heart of him that hath understanding seeketh knowledge, but the mouth of fools feedeth on foolishness. All the days of the afflicted are evil. He that is of a merry heart hath a continual feast. So better is a little with the fear of the Lord than great treasure and trouble therein. Better is a dinner of herbs with love is, than a stalled ox and hatred therein. A wrathful man stirreth up strife. He that is slow to anger appeaseth strife. The way of a slothful man is an hedge of thorns, but the way of the righteous is made plain. A wise son maketh a glad father, but a foolish man despiseth mother. Folly is joy to him that is destitute of wisdom, but a man of understanding walketh uprightly. Without counsel, purposes are disappointed. In the multitude of counsels they are established. Man hath joy by the answer of his mouth, and a word spoken in season, how good is it? What if life is above the wise to the wise, that he may depart from hell beneath? The Lord will destroy the house of the proud, he will establish the border of the widow. The thoughts of the wicked are an abomination to the Lord. The words of the pure are pleasant words. He that is greedy of gain troubleth his own house. He that hateth gifts shall live. The heart of the righteous studieth the answer, but the mouth of the wicked poureth out evil things. The Lord is far from the wicked, and heareth the prayer of the righteous. Light of the eyes rejoiceth the heart, and a good report maketh bones fat. The ear that heareth the reproof of life abideth among the wise. He that refuseth instruction despiseth his own soul, but he that heareth reproof getteth understanding. The fear of the Lord is the instruction of the wisdom, for honor is humility. The tongue's answers from the Lord. Chapter 16. Preparation of the heart in man, and the answer of the tongue is from the Lord. All the ways of a man are clean in his own eyes. The Lord weigheth the spirits. Commit thy works unto the Lord, and thy thoughts shall be established. The Lord hath made all things for himself, yea, even the wicked for the day of evil. Every one that is proud in heart is abomination to the Lord. Though hand join in hand, he shall not be unpunished. But by mercy and truth iniquity is purged, but by the fear of the Lord men depart from evil. When a man's ways please the Lord, he maketh even his enemies to be at peace with him. So better is a little with righteousness than great revenues without right. For a man's heart deviseth his ways, but the Lord directeth his steps. For a divine sentence is in the lips of the king, and his mouth transgressors not in judgment. A just weight and balance of the Lord's, all the weights of the bag are his work. It is an abomination to kings to commit wickedness, throne is established with righteousness. Righteous lips are the delight of kings. They love him that speaketh right. And the wrath of a king is as messengers of death. But a wise man will pacify it. And in the light of the king's countenance is life, and his favor is as the clouds of latter rain. How much better is it to get wisdom than gold, to get understanding rather than to be chosen in silver? The highway of the upright is to depart from evil. He that keepeth his way preserveth his soul. Pride goeth before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall. It's better to be an humble spirit with the lowly than to divide the spoil with the proud. He that handleth a matter wisely shall find good. So trusteth in the Lord, happy is he. The wise in heart shall be called prudent. The sweetness of lips increaseth learning. Understanding is a wellspring of life, and to him that hath it. The instruction of fools is folly. That of the wise teacheth his mouth, and addeth learning to his lips. Pleasant words are as a honeycomb, sweet to his soul, and health to the bones. There is a way that seemeth right unto a man, but the end thereof are the ways of death. He that laboureth for himself, for his mouth craveth it of him. And an ungodly man diggeth up evil, and in his lips there is a burning fire. A froward man soweth strife, and a whisper separate chief friends. A violent man enticeth his neighbour, and leadeth him into the way that is not good. He shutteth his eyes to divide froward things. Moving his lips, he bringeth evil to pass. The hoary head is a crown of glory, but if it be found in the way of righteousness, he that is slow to anger is better than the mighty. He that ruleth the spirit, and he that taketh a city. The lot is cast into the lap. The whole disposing thereof is of the Lord's.